there's a really beautiful book. It was a spiritual book that I read. I can't remember by who. And the monk was training to become a spiritual master. And he spent a lot of time with his master, his whole life training. And then for his final test, he said, you have to go and spend a few days with the king of the country. He's like, okay. So he goes to the king. And the first day he's there, the king's like, have some wine. He's like, no, no, I don't drink. I can't drink. And then he's like, okay, no problem. And he brings out all these beautiful naked women. They're all dancing around him. And he's like trying really hard not to look at any of them. And the king keeps putting them through all these challenges. And at nighttime, when he sleeps, there's these swords hanging from the ceiling. And he's like, he can't relax because maybe the sword will drop and kill him. And then at the end of it, I think the king was like, come, let's go. I'm going to fuck the story up a little bit. But he's like, let's go swim in the river. And he's like, I want you to take off your robes. The monk had these special robes. And he's like, I'm not taking off my robes. It's the only thing that I have. And he was like going through like, these are very special to me. And he said, it's easy for you because you have all this stuff. I only have my robes. And he said, turn around and look behind him. And the king's whole castle and kingdom was on fire. And he said, I have everything and I can let it all go. You have nothing and you're holding on so tightly. And it's like a really beautiful story of like, can you have everything and be okay with having nothing again? And the monk who thought he was so spiritual and saying no to alcohol and women, all these things, wouldn't give up the only thing he had, which was his robes. And the king gave away everything because it doesn't matter to him. And so it's like that higher mindset. He was thinking the king is like this animal and no spiritual, but meanwhile he is the real master because he can have everything and let it go. There's no attachment.
Yeah, I get it. No, it's a nice story. I get
Yes.
the analogy. I got the analogy. It's nice
Yeah. So
because it's
it's
all
just
about
it's
attachment, and that's something like I was discussing with a friend a long time ago, and it's not about being rich or not being rich. It's about how much are you attached to things. You know, what's your attachment to materials?
yeah.
And I see a lot of people they are into um, they say that they are like spiritual and so on, and for them that's they use that as an excuse to not make money. They just say like, oh, I'm a spiritual being, so I don't need money, or I don't need to make money, because if I make money it makes me less spiritual, which is completely wrong. But they will learn it over time. um,
Hard
and I
way.
see other people like many people like even Matthias Di Stefano. I don't think he's like so poor. I mean, I see he's traveling. He's traveling more than
The whole world.
anybody. I'm not sure
Yeah.
he's poor. Like, and I mean, I mean it. And I'm not saying like it's wrong what he's doing, because for me it's just like it makes sense. He has a purpose, so it makes sense that he needs means to accomplish what he came here to accomplish. So it makes totally sense.